thanks I get. Hello, I started this gangsta shit, and it's the thanks I get.
Hey, if you're new here but enjoying the content, please take a minute to hit that subscribe button and join us. Thank you. It's Ethan Van Sciver, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, doing a car video. On my way to a meeting. But I was thinking, today's an interesting day. Today is a day in which I'm noticing a lot of comic book SJWs, and just SJWs in the media, in the pop culture media, who realize they're failing, and they are failing. I mean, they're failing really bad. They are lashing out like crazy. Big one over at DC Comics, Andy Corey. He's an editor. I think he edits Green Arrow, which is funny because Green Arrow is the liberal superhero. He's the only superhero that's really overtly left-wing. Like, that's part of who his character is. For some reason, that is still on the table, even though Hal Jordan, who was his conservative opposite in the old 1970s DC Comics with Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil, he's no longer spoken about as overtly Republican, even though that's what he is, you know? And it's like, we always knew that. You know, we always said Hal's a Republican and so is Barry. But it's funny, that's the only successful book that this guy does. He's responsible for the Vertigo, the new Vertigo line. And basically this guy, this guy's friends with all the most horrible anti-Comicsgate people in comics, in the business. Like, he is their key. He's their doorway to what's going on at DC Comics. He's friends with Tim Doyle. He's friends with just the worst of the worst people, like orbiting comics, like the reason comics are failing, the very suction through which all prosperity is funneled. He knows those people, and he's allowing those people to come into DC Comics. And, you know, he's not capable of ruining DC Comics all by himself. He's just one editor who's being given kind of small books. But he is causing immense damage to, to the Vertigo brand, which is now just seen as failure and degeneracy, with his, the people who he's hired so far have been so troublesome for DC Comics, with Robbie Rodriguez. Robbie Rodriguez is actually working with, what's her name, from Gamergate. He hired the Five Guys girl from Gamergate to come on and write a comic. Is that something she's ever done before? I'm not sure if she's a comic book person. Nevertheless, this is what SJWs tend to do. He's hiring her to make a point, and he hires Robbie Rodriguez, the creator of Spider-Gwen, somebody who has actually threatened violence against another, I would say, Comicsgate adjacent artist by the name of Frank Cho. He'll tell you he's not Comicsgate. But you know what? Sometimes you're Comicsgate whether you want to be or not. When you're actually fighting for your own freedom, to do whatever it is that you want to do as an artist, and other people are trying to shut you down, and those people are trying to shut you down for socio-political reasons. It's like, you're Comicsgate if you're fighting back against that. I'm sorry, that is inclusive in what we do. Nevertheless, he'll say, I'm not a part of Comicsgate. Anyway, Robbie Rodriguez, this guy threatened Frank Cho with violence because he drew a character named, I think, Spider-Gwen, that Robbie Rodriguez created. In other words, she put Gwen Stacy in a hood, called her Spider-Gwen. That's a creation in this day and age. I guess Frank Cho drew her in a sexual manner. And Robbie Rodriguez was not having it. He said, it's like you sexually assaulted my daughter. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing to bring up. We'll talk about that more soon. Robbie Rodriguez, this artist of this book, Zoe Quinn, that's her name, of this book, he got a drunk. I guess I don't know what he was doing, but he got upset at me, and he just said, hey, Ethan, this is for you. And he took pictures of his anus, and like 2 of them, I think, I don't know. And he sent them over to me via Twitter in front of everybody. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. But at the same time, things just keep getting weirder and weirder with these social justice warriors. Their degeneracy, their depraved, evil, hateful, efforts, the things that they say and do, they just keep getting worse and worse. And why? Why do they do that? Because they think they're the good guys and they're entitled to behaving in an evil way because they're inherently good, So anyway, Andy Corey hired this guy. Andy Corey starting a new line based on Karen Berger's fantastic and really noble, I think, Vertigo imprint. He's taken it over, and he's hired Robbie Rodriguez. Then he hired a bunch of other weirdos, SJW weirdos, including one Eric Esquivel, to do a book called Border Town, which was about, I don't know, illegal aliens or something. I didn't read it. I'm not reading that. But it was supposed to be pretty racist. Diversity in Comics did some in-depth reviews of it. And, he's on tour promoting his book, and he's out there. And this young lady, who I guess worked for him at a comic shop, came out finally, felt brave enough to reveal the truth that this guy had raped her, had sexually assaulted her multiple times, and that she'd also seen him do it to, underage girls. Now, I don't know the truth of those allegations. I just know that I read her statement, and I believed her. I believe women. Apparently, DC Comics did as well. They quickly fired him. So we've got two weird instances of sexual harassment, sexual abuse, all being invited over to work at DC Comics from one source, this guy Andy Corey, editor. Also, he, first of all, none of his books are selling. That's the main thing. Like, if all of this was just because these artists were eccentric but, highly profitable, like if they were like Frank Miller, who has said some kind of eccentric things, kind of right-wing things over the years, and yet, his books sell like hotcakes, you kind of go, well, at least I understand why. But we don't turn a blind eye to sexual abuse, sexual assault, sexual harassment, no matter what these books are selling. And on top of it, they're not selling. So, go figure. I mean, figure that one out. In any case, also, this is the same editor that was responsible for The Second Coming, a book by Richard Pace and this other weirdo who, I don't know, what's this guy's name? I can't remember. Another anti-Comicsgate creep. All of these people are anti-Comicsgate. All of these people are fighting really hard for their assumed right to use DC Comics' platform to espouse far left-wing dogma. And this book, indeed, this book, Second Coming, was a book that was making fun of Jesus Christ and Christians. And this is not the kind of book that, well, it's not the kind of book that's going to sell, but it is the kind of book that is going to garner a lot of controversy, which it did. Some Christians got together and they signed a petition, 250,000 petition. Listen, 250,000 Christians telling DC Comics not to publish this book because it was deeply degrading and offensive to their belief system. And 250,000 is certainly more people than there are readers for any one particular book at DC Comics right now. It's all very alarming. It got on TV, got on Fox News. And of course, when the sales came back, final order cutoff, suddenly, coincidentally, the book gets canceled before the first issue even comes out. You can say, well, it was because of the Christians and their petition, or you could say the DC was being practical, got those fine. Sorry, Andrea called and interrupted the video right in the middle of a sentence. We're in the middle of buying a house, so she's like, "Do you think I could put in a bid for this?" I'm like, "Yes." Now let me get back to making fun of the SJWs in comics right now. So look, the point of all of this is that, SJWs fail wherever they go. They have a lot of attitude. They have a lot of things to say. All of those things are unpleasant to hear by normal people, and yet they insist on doing it. And doing it doesn't result in prosperity, which is, the main issue. If we were the minority in the country, if regular people, conservatives, people who were anti-SJW, were the minority, and most people were SJW and buying and wanting SJW product, we'd have to shut our mouths and just deal with it. That is capitalism. And yet they don't, and they fail every single time. I just saw an article by the Daily Beast that was just talking about how, the incels, which is what they're calling us now instead of Nazis. Listen, okay, let me make that clear. It's perfectly voluntary. I get plenty of sex. You're all nuts. You're all crazy people. And as usual, SJWs always project. Excuse my language. But in any case, yeah, I'm like, So the incels are responsible for this movie failing, huh? Well, then why didn't you guys make a better movie? You had this opportunity to show everybody what you could do. This movie was clearly reflective of your politics. It was reflective of what you believed in and what you wanted females in comics, female superheroes to be. You wanted to make a statement about feminism. This was declared to be a feminist movie. You had your shot, you shot your shot, and you failed. So it doesn't really matter that we were opposing you at every turn. We keep telling you over and over again that you people don't know how to create. SJWs do not know how to create superheroes. They don't know how to create characters. They don't know how to make anything that people want to buy. So, I mean, it would be great if, frankly, you could say, yeah, these these incels, they opposed us every step of the way, and yet look at this fantastic movie that we made. Instead, what you get to say, Daily Beast, is, yeah, these conservatives, these incels, opposed us every step of the way and everything that we were trying to do. And we made a bomb. We made a terrible movie that's only probably going to succeed and make box office because of the fact that it's associated with a long string of movies that are not SJW. Movies starring characters that happen to be white males for the most part, with a handful of exceptions, created by brilliant creative people who knew what they were doing, knew how to create characters. And the only reason why you have an opportunity now to make your feminist movie and hopefully make a profit on that movie is because of the work of these people. All of these SJWs are prosperity vampires. I gotta say that again, prosperity vampires. If you're hoping to succeed, if you're hoping to make money, do not hire these people ever. They do not care about you making money. They care about using what you have, using your resources, spending your money. And they'll tell you this, by the way. They'll say, not every enterprise is about profit and making money. Some people care about a higher calling. Do it on your own time. Do it with your own money then, weirdos. You're spending other people's money for your higher calling, and you're putting people out of business. You're putting people out of work. I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. Just have a nice chat on my drive over here to this meeting. Love you guys. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Obviously, ring that bell for notifications. And I will see you again. Probably I'll do a live stream tonight. Take care. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're gonna look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.